Hi, my name's Denise Rundle, and this is my daughter Deanna Rundle. Um, we are the founders of Dillon's Dream, a World Without Cancer, and we're having our harvest fundraiser dinner. So the dinner, let me just tell you about the dinner. The dinner um, will help us raise money to pay for our activities that we do for the kids. We do a horse ranch experience where they get to go out and ride horses, um, pet farm animals, play games, do crafts. We've also done urban air. Some of the other things we do with our funds is we just recently helped a family pay for a custom urn because their child just recently passed away. We've done gas cards, food cards. We pretty much try to do whatever's needed. We also buy arts and crafts and other supplies to take out to the hospitals 4 times a year. And then we're just kicking off our huge Christmas toy drive for these children.
And our dinner's on November 15th. Doors open at 5 o'clock. We'll be downtown at the Brentwood Veterans Memorial Building on 1st Street. Like I said, doors open at 5 o'clock and dinner will be served at 6 o'clock. Tickets are $30 for adults and $15 for kids.
What age do the kids have to be for them?
12 and under.
Okay. I also noticed that on that same little pamphlet, there's also like a craft.
In the morning, yes.
In the morning, we're having our craft fair from 9 to 1.
Yep.
And what are you guys gonna be selling? Specific stuff or?
We have like 30 vendors out there, so there's a lot of different stuff from
like jewelry, blankets, mugs,
cookies. Yeah.
wooden boards. Yeah.
And that's at the Brentwood Memorial.
Yep, same
Yes.
building, Brentwood Veterans Memorial Building. We'll be there all day.
All right. Let's see. There's also a raffle for the toy drive as well, right? If you bring a toy, then you get included in the raffle.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in the morning, if you bring a toy for the raffle, you will be entered to win a prize for the morning, and then in the evening, same thing. Bring a toy, you'll get a raffle ticket, and you'll be entered to win some.
So we started Dillon's Dream because my son was diagnosed in 2019 with cancer, and in 2021 we went back to Boston for 6 months, and it was amazing the support we got back there. The first day we got there, they gave us this binder, and it had taxi and Uber and food vouchers, and so pretty much everything was paid for. We had an apartment for 6 months that was paid for
By a nonprofit.
and our flights were paid for by nonprofits. And then when we got back to California, I said to my son, should we start a nonprofit? And one of the things that he really always believed in is having fun. That's why we do the events with the kids. He's like, just make sure they're having fun. So we did the events. And then his last time in the hospital before he passed away, we were at Stanford, and we had heard of kids that had been there 6 months, 8 months. And we were like, oh, we need to, because we started the nonprofit with bringing awareness. And then we realized we really need to do things for these kids. So that's when we started bringing the kinetic sand, the Play-Doh, the arts and crafts. And we do that every 3 months. And then we do our huge Christmas toy drive.
And then the Christmas toy drive we do for the patients and their siblings. And so then we reach out to the child life specialists, and they let us know their age, their gender, and then we have a very detailed list.
Well, with our toy drive, there's been, let's say, for the last 3 years, because the first year we did like crayons and color books. So we probably done over 150 in the last 3 years.
Yeah, and then this year we added another hospital up in Roseville. So we work with John Muir Creek, Kaiser Roseville, Kaiser Oakland, and Sutter Sacramento. Yeah.
Well, we do events. We, like I said, we pay for gas cards. One of our first treatments, I remember a lady saying that she had to not eat so she would be able to put gas in the car to take her child to treatment. You know, you have to understand when these families get that diagnosis, your child has cancer, um, it ends up being appointments 5 days a week, every other week. When you don't have a week of treatment, if your kid gets a fever or doesn't feel good, you're in the emergency, and then they admit them, and then depending on the age of your child, you're staying at that hospital. So you pretty much quit your job. So now these two family income households become a one person income. The other children at home have to all of a sudden take care of themselves. It becomes a big shift. So we also, that's why we work really hard to get donations, because we also want to be able to help these parents with, you know, fast food vouchers,
grocery vouchers, gift cards,
gas cards. And part of the thing we're noticing, we just noticed it because we just did the ranch experience, but one of the things we noticed is that it's even, our events are even becoming more of a support for parents. We had like 4 parents talking about their experiences, and one of them was saying there was 2 families that were both at Kaiser Oakland, and one was talking about how they allot so much food per day per child, and the other one's like, really? Because she's like, I always have to go buy food, and they're like, no, the nurse said if you make sure you take the allotment, you could eat whatever is there. So that was a nice resource, you know, that if you weren't a patient there, you wouldn't know to have that. And I think that was a lot of things I learned when Dillon was sick. We were told, your son has cancer. No, your son doesn't have cancer. Yes, your son has cancer. And I'm like, can you guys, you know, make up your mind? Can you show me some proof? So it took, I mean, from the first time he was in the doctors to when they finally said, yes, without a doubt he has cancer, we're going to treat him, was almost a year. So I think he may have had a better chance if it didn't take a year to get all that taken care of.
And so you're saying that with Dillon's Dream, it's sort of bringing like community together.
Yeah, it's bringing
better
the
understanding
parents
them
together to support one another. Yeah. Well, one thing that I really would like to do is the first year when we handed out candy in 21 and we did color books and crayons in 21, he liked to dress up. So he had a Santa Claus jacket. Not like a Santa suit, but it was like a jacket that had Santa Claus and candy canes and stuff on it. And he wore that in like dress slacks and dress shoes and handed it out. But at Halloween, he had this big pumpkin head, and he had these robotic claws, and he went and handed out, you know, and he had a glow-in-the-dark Halloween jacket that had ghost, and it was Disney, so it had like Disney characters and stuff. And I would like to bring that back, but we'll have to find somebody that's willing to do it, 1, and 2, we have to find, I mean, since COVID, the hospital rules have changed a little. They're kind of very much, you can't go in there. We've asked to go in and hand out the gifts, and like, no, you can't. And then sometimes I see other groups that post pictures, but I'm not sure if they get to go in. But that's the one thing I would like to bring back, is the pumpkin in Halloween.
How involved was he with Dillon's Dream?
At the very beginning, a lot. He did vendor fairs with me to bring awareness. We did parades, and he used to sit in the back of the truck. We had wings they were like huge wings, and he would sit there in the back of the truck, and we would hand out flyers, you know, tell people what childhood cancer was. And so for probably 6-8 months, he was very active, and then he started getting too sick, and he just didn't want to do it anymore.